Hey guys, this is JR and Ben from the Undercard Podcast, and we've decided that we're going to do something new and fun. We're going to watch older fights, and we're going to do some classic commentary. And today we're going to do some Pride Never Die, and we're going to start off with Nick Diaz versus Takanori Gomi.
Yeah, fight card's just starting up. We're at the tail of the tape right now. Nick Diaz was 23 at the time. 23.
Gomi was the number one lightweight in the world at the time. He had 3 losses, one of which was to BJ Penn. Mm-hmm. Fun fact, this Pride card Pride 33, took place in Las Vegas, and was taking place at the same time that Nate Diaz was on The Ultimate Fighter. And he was freaking out about it, apparently. And Gomi comes right out and shoots a double leg and takes Diaz down. But Diaz rolls and took a Kimura.
Flipped into a Kimura.
Took a Kimura, and Gomi picked him up and threw him on the ground.
How gangster is Nick Diaz?
Doesn't even care. Even care. Now he's in his guard, getting pounded on, and Gomi really, for a guy that made a lot of big headlines with his left hook from standing, he was more of a ground and pounder at this point in his career.
He had nasty ground and pound, especially from the guard.
Yeah, he was trying to sit in the guard here, in Diaz's guard here, and Diaz was doing a good job of tying him up. Now he's standing up and jumping back in with punches, but he's not really landing a whole lot. Diaz he's inverting and doing a good job of keeping himself safe. Diaz at the time, other than his wrestling takedown defense, which was god awful, he was probably one of the top 5.
He had to have been welterweight.
Top 5. Well, shit, he was a lightweight here. This is a 160.
Oh, it is, isn't it?
Yeah, at the time, Diaz was a lightweight, and he was super young and super tough. Again, horrible takedown defense.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And one of the worst things about Pride was the fact that they had the ring ropes, so they had to restart them in the middle every time they got to the side.
Well, they had to do something to separate themselves from the UFC.
Yeah, well, and I don't hate the ring ropes, but if you look in like Brazil, they had the bottom ropes all had nets under them, so they would have to just stay there. So I mean,
well, they had that when Chuck fought Pele, didn't they?
Yeah, and Chuck almost killed him. Yeah. Stalling out here a little bit in the ground. Also, fun fact, because it was in Las Vegas, they had to fight under the unified rules, so it was 3 5-minute rounds instead of the first round being 10 minutes, which is what Pride was known for at the time, was having really long first rounds. Diaz is doing a lot of striking off of his back, but not really doing that much like actual work, trying to sweep, trying to get triangles, but not really doing anything crazy. It's still taking a lot of punches, or at least Gomi's spamming a lot of punches. Gomi stands up, and now Diaz is standing back up.
Back up, ladies and gentlemen.
And Gomi's already annoyed because he wanted to just get this done.
No, and Diaz will not go away.
Diaz is a cardio machine. See, one thing about Gomi that people forget about is Gomi's also a really good body puncher. As hard as he throws that left hook and the right hook, he throws them to the body a lot.
Oh, and with that.
And he just landed a right hook to the face on Diaz and knocked him straight on the ground.
Not a lot of people have done
Not a lot of people have managed to finish Diaz after that, and Gomi's not going to be the first one. Spoiler alert. Ground and pound, Diaz has rolled over to his back, or rolled over, giving up his back, but not really taking that much along the lines of punches, not tying him up, really. Doing a pretty good job of getting his head back in the game. Got another Kimura, trying to sweep, back in the guard. Yeah, Gomi was the number one guy at this point. He'd only lost a couple fights. He lost to BJ Penn at Rumble on the Rock, and this was when he lost to Joaquin Hansen right before that at Shudo. But other than that, he's really, at this time, was the number one lightweight guy. Joaquin Hansen was up there, BJ Penn was up there, but both of those guys were fighting at higher weight classes at the time. So it was Gomi. Gomi was the number one.
Yeah, Gomi was the guy back in the day.
And they brought in Diaz to lose to him, and Diaz is already winding him because Gomi's trying to throw super hard punches and just get him out of there. The Diaz brothers both had this problem, but especially Nick tends to get cut a lot.
Oh, well, they got so much scar tissue.
And his cheekbones are so bony, he's a skinny dude. I mean, there's a lot of things to it, but he gets cut really bad in this fight. They're still throwing down, and Diaz is doing a really good job of kind of hoovering him with punches, just light punches, tapping him.
He throws like several punches, just 50%, and then he'll whip in that one at like 80 to 100.
Yep, and you'll get used to taking the light ones, and he'll hammer you with one.
And just getting hit with those take a lot out of you, especially when he hits you in the body like he does.
And it's not even that hard. He's not throwing full force.
No,
he's just tapping. Not. That volume punch, the Diaz punches are not, the Stockton slap, not exactly the hardest punches, but man, they do a lot of damage.
Absolutely not. And you have to react every time you get hit with those punches.
And Gomi's trying to hammer his way off the ropes here, and he's doing a good job of it, but he's gassing out so bad that his hands aren't even up.
Nick Diaz taunting him. And he's just going off on him.
Diaz is just throwing a lot of punches here, and Gomi's getting tired just because he thought he was going to be able to just come in, walk over this guy, collect a check, and go home.
Absolutely not.
And that's not what's happening here. Really taking a lot of punches. Oh, and a lot of punches.
Throwing at each other.
Brawling and throwing. And here, Diaz doing a little dirty boxing. Gomi can't even keep his hands up. He's got his hands on the ropes trying to stay up.
He's exhausted already. Just throwing those wild arm punches, man.
Tight, short, but he's got those long arms, man.
He's hitting him with almost everything he throws.
Yep. And well, that's the thing, man. Gomi got tired, couldn't move his head, couldn't move his body, and he's just basically letting him hit him.
Yeah.
Trying to run away from it. The crowd is going wild here because they were not expecting a fight like this.
No.
This is not what Pride wanted.
No.
Pride did not want Gomi, and Gomi can't even make it back to his corner.
No, he's exhausted.
That one takedown and the 5 or 6 punches he threw full force at the body. Diaz is already cut, and he's cut bad.
And that's where he got hit with that right hand here.
When he gets knocked down here, that's when they're showing the replay. He gets knocked down, and that's where the cut comes from.
I think that right hand broke his orbital bone.
I think he was injured after this for a while.
I think it broke his orbital bone. That he said that after the fight.
Gomi was a hard hitter, man, and he was really lining these punches up. He was throwing them hard, but I mean, shit. He was. You can't keep throwing punches like that when you're not in shape and expect to keep your gas.
I mean, even when you are in shape, you can't.
No, not like that. Gomi wasn't even putting his hands up to block him because he thought they were so light it wasn't a big deal. But man, they really had an effect.
One of the only guys I can think of that can throw full force like that for 5 rounds is John Lineker.
John Lineker can do that, but at the same time, he's not throwing that kind of volume.
No.
I mean, again, Gomi was really trying to get him out of there in the first round.
Yeah, homeboy's throwing heat.
Once he wasn't able to ground and pound him, that was the end. And now they're coming back out. Diaz's cut isn't bleeding right now. And he came right out and he started touching him again. Just touching him. Just touching him with some punches.
That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do to get a guy tired. Just touch,
and make him fight back. He's backing him up against the ropes too, which that's a problem for Gomi because he's having to fire himself off of it. Every time he's doing that, he's wasting more and more of his energy.
You know, Nick throws a lot more kicks than Nate does.
A lot more, and he was actually a little bit better with them, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, he's a very underrated kicker.
Really, and better at the clinch than people give him credit for. When he ties up,
stronger than what people think.
When he
he's
ties
got
up,
that long, wiry frame. You don't think he's going to be that strong, but man, he could bomb dudes if he really wanted to.
Diaz shoots the takedown, and man, he's bleeding again already. He's probably only taken 1 or 2 punches. Now they're having a timeout. Now Diaz is cut under his right eye now.
Gomi's exhausted,
and Gomi's holding himself up in the corner. Showing the replay here, Diaz shoots, but he's cut, and one of the refs on the outside saw it and called the ref over to stop it and look at it.
I think it was his right orbital bone that it broke.
Yeah, that's the one. His right eye is extremely swollen. It's busted open, but he's coming forward. Nope. He's coming forward and throwing punches.
He doesn't have a care in the world. That's Nick Diaz, ladies and gentlemen.
Diaz doesn't give a shit. And Gomi's trying to say his eye's cut. I can't fight this guy. And Diaz is the one that's landed punches.
No, and
Gomi's doing a good job of throwing punches to the body. Still, I mean, he's still pretty disciplined about where he's throwing, but he's gassed out. He's not digging it.
Diaz might be the most durable guy ever.
Probably the most durable fighter in history.
Frankie Edgar.
Frankie Edgar's up there, but I don't think Diaz has ever actually been knocked out.
He's been stopped once.
Yeah, he got stopped by Jeremy Jackson, and Gomi just shot a double.
Oh, he got that
go-go Gomi shot the double, and Diaz locked up a go-go plata. And
that's tight. That's a wrap. Yep. That's a wrap, son.
And that's done, yep. And Nick doesn't want to let it go.
Just shocked the world. No one thought that was
Nobody ever thought that was ever going to happen. And the sad thing about it is that Diaz tested positive for marijuana metabolites after this fight, and then it was overturned. Was
it because it was in the States?
Yep.
I was about to say, because...
well, if he had tested positive in Japan, he'd have been in jail, because it's illegal in Japan. But Incident anyway had that problem happen. But yeah, he tested positive for marijuana after this fight. They made it a no contest. But the fact of the matter is, one of the biggest upsets in MMA history, at least at that time. And great fight. You get a chance. It's on YouTube too. Go check it out. You can always sync up the audio if you want. And great fight. Check it out. And thanks for listening.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.